Well, while I hang out chilling with the cyber babes, no such luxury can be afforded to our 8 challengers. They're waiting to take the step onto the white knuckle ride that is Games World The Eliminator. And I know just the 2 guys to give them a push. Bob, Jeremy, let's get it on.
We are GamesAnimals.
Welcome to GamesAnimal TV Show 6. Keeping up with the theme of looking at retro old footage that no one else has seen before. I've been going through the VHS box I mentioned previously, and I've found a few bits and pieces that I think might be of interest to the real retro game heads. First off, I have a clip of myself at the Trocadero promoting Adidas Power Soccer. This is a clip I didn't even realize I had. Randomly came across it on one of the old VHSs that I discovered in my garage, and I thought, well, this might be nice for people that want to see something they haven't seen before from the golden days of gaming, if you like. It's also a good example of what my life was like back then. People don't realize, I don't think, that being the games animal was quite a grueling time for me. Be producing magazines all week, and on the weekends I would be traveling all over the country to take part in gaming exhibitions or competitions. Manchester, Birmingham, Sheffield, Scotland, Bournemouth, Brighton, Austria. I'd be going all over the place, and somewhere in between that as well I'd be filming the TV shows. This first clip is a great example of what it's like to just turn up at a store you've never been to before. You have to organize a whole game challenge on a new game through the store's PA system, and at the same time you have TV companies showing up with their cameras and their presenters, all wanting 5 minutes of your time. You certainly find out how good a player you are when every time you're playing, somebody's got a giant TV camera in your face. Not as easy as it looks.
Tell us what you're doing here. First start with controls.
Right, basically, the nice thing about how like the other games we have on so far is that the first couple of games you get the stress on the play. So the way you play it, obviously, this is the direction you have. So where you want to walk, what you plan to do with it, how you want to get there with that. These are the coordinates of what we're doing to get there. Tractable. And by combining them, acting on and you can pull kicks from miles out, not going into the net. It's a very, very nice game, and it's fun as well as wonderful.
And you've got a lot of commentary on this as well.
Yeah, you've got a lot of options. You've got different names. You've got commentary going with your mates, they have different promotion as well. And you've also got Brian Moore. I have quite a lot of different commentary with Brian Moore. So of course he's a man up now, his dad in soccer. And you've also got a nice option with 2 liver birds. Casually discussing the men's backsides with jokes like, look at the goalie, he's nice. Picking up that ball, I wonder if he'll pick up something, things like that.
So it's an amusing one for the girls as well.
Yeah.
Now tell us, you were saying how you could get your ball from that person to that person.
Right, basically using the top buttons. With the PlayStation, you've got 4 buttons on the top of your hand, which is a nice innovation. If you put it in, you've got even more options now. With the 2 buttons at the top, you can either, put after touching the ball, so you can swerve it out, kick it, a la Brazil, or you can use the nearest button to you to change the player that's active. So usually the player nearest the ball will be the one you're controlling. You can use another player, you quick click on the top, and you can choose any player you want.
Give them a little
I
demonstration.
just fouled Frankfurt. So then we have a free kick gets in a dangerous situation. In the years between me and Alex are only 1-0 up.
So what are the good things about this game? Kind of special.
Well, one is the motion capture animation. They've actual players in to act out the moves. And then take on those moves and do it in the computer. So as you can see, the players running in action are very, very good. They're just like the real thing. But at the same time, they've not forgotten that it's supposed to be a game. And they've kept all the fun elements, the topical elements at the moment, like the cancer and because it's sponsored by Adidas, we also have a special shot called Adidas Predator shot, which I'll show you in a minute. It's a video they go. Which allows you to boot the ball from miles out with added venom, and even not going into the net. That was a power shot, that was a shot, not my defender. So you've got everything here. You've got you can play the simulation of the players and play some get tired and need substitutes, or you can play as a straightforward fun game. Terrible at zooming.
It is.
Yours.
There we go. Come down to HMV and try it out.
Yeah.
Great. That's right.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Where will I go on?
It should be going now. 45 stop.
Right.
I think that's the best. Probably Monday and Tuesday.
Right, Monday or Tuesday. Right, brilliant. Yeah. Right, Gary Jennings. Right, press the X button. And then move down here. Got right, press X. I'm Dave Perry from GamesAnimal TV Show. I'm up here overlooking the whole thing, making sure there's no dirty play going on. We're in the second half of this game here, are we, Simon? Second half, and what's the score? 1-0 to... Oh, they're mixed up. Jamie wanted to be Arsenal, he ended up as Manchester United, and as usual, Manchester United are winning. This championship going. Press start. On screen 1, we've got Tottenham versus Liverpool on a slightly muddy pitch. On a nice pitch on screen 2, we've got Newcastle versus Arsenal. On screen 3, we've got Liverpool. Who's this? Man United and Liverpool? Man United and Liverpool on another nice pitch. And on a slightly dirty pitch, we've got Manchester United versus Liverpool as well on screen 4. So, Adidas Power Soccer, we're playing it up in the games area at HMV Trocadero. The game's only just been launched. If you're curious, come and have a look. If you know someone, give them a cheer. But let's get this championship going. Cheer the lads on, come and get some freebies, see the game. Maybe you might decide you want to go over to the PlayStation. If you enjoy the game's been launched, it's on sale now.
Keeper did well to get to that one.
We're still waiting for our first goal. We've got the referees set on severe, so there'll be quite a few people getting sent off, I would imagine, in this championship. The game is also being played in arcade mode, which means there are a number of special moves you can pull off, like bursts of speed, cat-and-up kicks, taking opponents out at neck height, predator shots from miles out, which can knock the goalie into the net, and even flicking the ball back over your own head as you go around the defender. The other nice option is the button at the top of the pad, which is a triangle button. When you have the ball and you're dribbling, you can jump over tackles. If somebody slides in on you, just press that button at the right time and you'll jump up and over the tackle. We're still looking for our first goal. Anybody see? Who's come the closest to scoring? You're playing as... So Tottenham have got the upper hand, have they? At the moment, against Liverpool.
It seems a little harsh by the referee.
Skipping over the tackles there. Another yellow card's been dished out. Who's that been dished out to? Out to Arsenal. Out to Merson. We've got a goal, we've got our first goal. Tottenham have scored against Liverpool in our first quarter-final. And we've had our first sending off as well. That's a red card for Merson. He's gone. No goals over this end yet. We've got one. Who scored? You're playing as Manchester United. So Manchester United are 1-0 up against Liverpool in our third semi-final.
Now to get the game going.
Half-time between Tottenham and Liverpool. And that's 1-0 to Tottenham. Half-time between Newcastle and Arsenal. No score.
Can we carry on?
But a man's been sent off. Yeah, just press start. Still 0-0 between Liverpool and Man United in our fourth quarter-final. As half-time approaches. That's half-time, that's another 0-0 at half-time. Tough games these are.
A little tip for everyone playing, if you press the triangular button and the X button together at the same time, you'll perform a predator kick. The ball will catch fire and it will be twice as hard as it normally is. It can knock the goalie into the net. If he gets in the way, he's knocked the goalie over. Arsenal just knocked the Newcastle keeper over. That's the shot. You get near the goal, use that shot. Because you can knock the goalie into the net. He doesn't stand a chance. All the players in the game have got little red bars underneath their names at the bottom of the screen. Those are their special power bars. The more special moves you pull off, like cantonade kicks and predator kicks, then the more of that bar you use up. When there's none left, you can't use any more special moves, so you have to use them strategically. Okay, 1-0 to Manchester United here at half-time against Liverpool. We've got a penalty. No, free kick right on the edge of the box. Just a Liverpool free kick. Liverpool free kick right on the edge of the box. Ooh, into Schmeichel's arms. Good attempt. Still only had one man sent off, amazingly. Two men, you had one sent off. Colin wasn't sent off for Liverpool over here, so it's getting close to the end. That's a predator shot. Flowers is down. Yes, that's an equaliser. What a great game. Cantona, who else? Scores the equaliser for Manchester United. That's 1-1 as we approach half-time. Blackburn thought they had it. Thought they were going to go at half-time. 1-0. It's 1-1. After jumping over all the tackles, he gets scythed down by Cole. He wasn't having any of that. Playing in arcade mode, which means you can pull off special moves. We've seen a couple of predator goals already. We've seen a cantonade kick, and we've had a player sent off. This is a great final, and it's only 2-1. Manchester United not out of it yet. That's Buck going in. He'll be off as well. Yes, Louis going off as well. Nicky Butt and Andy Cole both been sent off for Manchester United. Manchester United down to 9 men, and they're a goal down.
I actually like Adidas Power Soccer. That was a fun game back in the day. I used to do a lot of challenges on that one. I did one which I'm going to put a picture up on the screen now of myself and a chap called Ryan Butt, who actually used to be a writer on one of my magazines, and he took part with a bunch of other journalists and general games players at the UK gaming convention, which was ECTS one year, and he won himself some Predator football boots, which were very, very expensive football boots, and very, very desirable. So yeah, I used to do these competitions all over the country, and Adidas Power Soccer was one game that for a while I definitely promoted in as many places as people would ask me or pay for me to turn up to promote it in. Now, in my garage, once again, like the magazines I found, like the VHS I found, in one of the boxes I found this old rolled up tub. So I thought I'd take a look inside and see if there's anything interesting in here from the golden days of gaming, which no one might have seen before. Wow. Okay, brilliant. Okay, I'll tell you what I just read. Go through here. This is quite emotional, actually. This is they had I can't see what the date is on this letter. This is a letter from Game, okay, and if it's got a date on it, 96, 6th of September 1996. Now, in Manchester, in a big shopping centre there, they'd had a bomb. There'd been a bomb attack, there'd been an explosion, and it had done a lot of damage. And a lot of the stores in the centre, of course, eventually had to get themselves back up and running. A lot of people were very scared. Game had asked me to come up, and when they reopened, to promote their reopening by taking on all challenges on video game. I think they suggested Tekken 2 or Tekken 3 on here, I'm not sure. But we ended up doing it on F1, I think the Formula 1 racing game, which was great fun to play. And they were very, very pleased that I came and did this, because it was a very big thing for Manchester to show their strength and solidarity after the explosions. And this is, they sent this to me, and I haven't seen this for years. I've forgotten I even had it. It's they put a big Formula One car outside the shop for the promotion. And this is a gentleman who was taking part in the promotion and that, and he sat in the car and wanted a photo opportunity, and everyone was, you can see everyone hanging around wanting autographs and photographs taken with the car and with myself, and I'm there in a Man United shirt with my bandana on. Not my best look, I must admit, but because of what we were doing, because we were reopening the store, because we were showing some solidarity for Manchester following the explosion, I thought it was important to represent. So I wore my Man United shirt that day. What else is in this tube? Okay. Now, September 1997, grand opening, video game store opening. I'd be hired or asked to go and attend, and I would go along and take on all challenges and get on the microphones, and the local press would come along, local TV shows, local journalists, etc. would come along, and so we opened this shop here. We got Joanne Guest, who, like I say, in previous films, the Lads Mag thing was big back then. It was all Jordan and Katie Price, as it was. I worked with her a few times, and Joe Guest and people like that. These were on page 3. They were in all the magazines, these models. And so Joe Guest came along as well, and she did photo opportunities with everybody. And I was there working from 9:30 to 8 p.m. And this is one of the posters that was put all over the town that day to promote my turning up with Joe Guest to open their store for them, kind of thing. I did see it wasn't all big, I opened a bunch of Oxford stores, a bunch of Virgin stores all over the country. I took place in challenges all over the country, HMV, nightclubs, but sometimes you went and did an opening for a small store as well, a small chain, just to keep people interested. I think that was for my old friends at Intermediate and Special Reserves. They opened some stores all over the country. They were moving on from just being a mail order company, so I helped them out by going along and promoting their stores for them. This is God knows where. In Torquay, where I live, or where I was born, I have my shop now. There was a newspaper come out 6 days a week called the Herald Express, and all the local news was always in the Herald Express. If you were anything locally, you wanted to get in the Herald Express. And they would have it outside the newsagents all over the town or the area, because it wasn't just Torquay. You would have a little box, and somebody would write the headlines on and put them outside the shops to promote that issue of the newspaper. This is obviously one when something I'd done. I was back on TV, or I'd got in some magazine somewhere, or I'd won some award, and I was obviously headline news that week in the Herald Express. Torquay man's computer game stardom, and I must have taken this from the front of the newsagent store to keep for myself. And once again, haven't thought about it for 20 odd years, and there it is in this tube, in this box, along with the Joe Guest poster and a thank you letter from Game in Manchester. So yeah, wonderful memories. I should get some of these things framed, really. They shouldn't be sitting in boxes in the garage. Set up some kind of retro gaming museum, maybe, or something. I don't know. Anyway, whilst we're on the retro note and finding old stuff, here's another bit of video footage I found. Now, this is a bit rough. You may have to be put up with the fact that the sound is shite, the focus is in and out all the time. What it is it's like I've said in a previous show, once again, as journalists, we all wanted to go to E3. Okay, E3 was the Entertainment Expo. In America, it would sometimes be in Atlanta, Chicago, Los Angeles. It moved around a lot over the years. It was CES back in the early days. But looking at the footage I found, I think this was 1996. Now, what we used to do, once again, hardly any internet. The internet was a very, very new thing back then to us all. There wasn't much digital, so everything was analog tapes. And we would go over to America, and we would take these great big video cameras you stick on your shoulders. And throughout this footage, if you look on some of the screens, you'll be able to just see me stood there with a camera on my shoulder. And whilst we were over there, we'd meet all the Americans. They would use all the officers of the companies from overseas, and they would have all the latest games that hadn't been shown in the UK yet or in Europe yet. and we'd want to get the latest clips of them, but the only way we could get clips of them was by filming it with these clunky cameras, because they'd give us discs or CDs to take back with us. But that would be the same as everybody else was getting, so you'd want some extra footage as well, so you take your cameras with you. You drag that around all day, and then you take the footage back home, because only about maybe 10, if you were lucky, from your publishing house would get to go. We were all minimum wage guys, going to America was a big deal for us. So the guys who got left behind were always a bit cheesed off, but they were game heads. They wanted to see all the latest footage, and if we could get some of the footage off the cameras to put in the magazines, then that was good for the readers. This was how the whole thing filtered down. So you would film as much as you could to take back, and in the background there's some faint commentary of me trying to explain what's going on so people back home can understand. And also the other thing was, of course, America. It was the girls. I mean, we're a bunch of guys. We were all in our early 20s, mid-20s, and you go to America to E3 and you'd have these Playboy type girls, in their bikinis and that, on the stands promoting the games. This is how things were. Now, people go, ooh, it's not PC, you can't say that, you can't do that, you can't, all this trouble I got for my first few shows on here because of the bikini babes playing beat 'em ups, But that's how things were done in the 90s, And on the show, on the stands, you would always have the hottest of hot girls in the skimpiest of bikinis. So we'd always try and get some footage of those as well to take home, because then when we'd sit down back in the UK and we'd be watching, this is the latest bit of footage of Wipeout, this is the latest bit of footage of Major Damage or whatever, and you'd be sitting there watching, and all of a sudden it would cut to some bikini girl on the booth. The whole room would go, lad points really, So there's some of those in there as well. Anyway, I found this old tape, and it's very, very rough, very old footage. It's been sat in a garage for years, but I figured for the people who are really, really interested in retro and really want to know what it was like in the mid-90s to go to LA, to go to the E3 show, in a time before the N64 had launched, in a time when Sony ruled the world, and Sega was still on the scene. This is it. This is the footage. I've tried to take as much roughness as I can out of it, but I don't want to ruin the essence of it. So if you want to hang around and watch. If not, just turn us off now. And I'll see you again soon. Bye. Okay, so here we go. Los Angeles, 16th of May, E3, Electronics Expo.
We are GamesAnimal.
Giving out t-shirts today, folks. Giving out t-shirts. You're probably wondering, but how? How do I play the game?
How do you play the game? How do you win this
Glad you
limited
asked. How do I play the game?
We are GamesAnimal.
You gonna wear these glasses?
We are GamesAnimal.
This is the best part of the show.
I guess the first day of the show, the big news so far is that the Sony PlayStation has gone down to £199 in the UK, $199 in the US, and that takes effect
that baby.
Yeah, anytime Jen wants to giggle, you just charge her $2. $2. Come over here, I'll give you $2. Ow, right to the tail.
Scavenger stand. Probably one of the most impressive stands here. I'm going to go in now, see if there's anything worth looking at. Scavenger game called a mock on the stand.
Okay, this is awesome. Let's have a look at some more games.
Back up the big note.
GamesAnimal. We are GamesAnimal.
Genetic mutations, there weren't any of in here, I'm afraid. They're just like heads with legs poking out of them, like tactical missions, strategy missions.
Alright, Scott just shoot him up.